What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another re-exception channel. For this episode, hey, we're gonna check out see what J Megan
I
got to
found
say.
them.
I think her name on TikTok is Pink Panda. Let's see what she got going on, y'all.
I found all the people that were on Katie's boat, y'all. Shout out to the real Jada J that turned me on to this picture. And as y'all can see, we've got a match with the necklace and the swimsuit. Think I busted out my glasses and red lipstick just for the swimsuit? Nah. Now, as I talked about yesterday, we've all suspected that this is Kendall for a while now. The identity of this curly-haired girl has always eluded us. Well, not anymore, folks. For now, I'm gonna just refer to these girls as T and L. As you can see, L clearly has the same kind of hair texture that's in the bottom of this picture. We know that these two were together on 4th of July, and T did not one, but two Nolan tributes after his body was found. Now, another one of their friends had a reel, which they did a little panning video on the best 4th of July ever. And who was in that video? Well, that looks to me to be Jacob, Kendall's longtime boyfriend. So it seems confirmation to me that both Kendall and her boyfriend were on this boat the entire day. Now that I have found this group of friends, I was scouring the pictures and I found this. We've got Elle with somebody I immediately recognized because I
The
remembered that
bathing suit.
swimsuit and they tried to hide
Yep.
this picture in a document dump so you didn't know what day it was. Well, if it isn't Nevaeh. Oh, she back! She back! Same swimsuit, same belly ring, and there she is clearly earlier in the day with Kendall,
Yeah, she
clearly
eating,
on the
y'all.
same boat. And just in case you didn't see my video on the Tube of You yesterday, or just need a reminder, here was the friend group breakdown that I had. But to me, this seemingly clearly confirms that these two were on this boat probably all day. I say this because there's another picture from the summer with Nevaeh with the little pink cup right here. You can see the pink cup in the lap of Kendall up here, along with the matching, poles and this, all of it matches. Now I want to go back to this picture because in the
You all right,
background
Rocco?
there, we see
You good,
somebody
boy?
seemingly approaching the group
Rocco,
to
you
join
good?
them to go out in red shorts. And y'all know that I've been saying for a while that in my humble opinion, I believe that the person in red shorts is Warren's brother. But now I also think there's a strong possibility that it could be Lainey's boyfriend, Drew. Just as further confirmation, these glasses match the glasses that are in the Katie Snapchat. I think it's pretty safe to say that we definitely found the people that were on the boat with Katie. Now here's where it gets a little interesting to me though. Look at how late in the day this picture seems to be taken. And they clearly were still out at night. So did they drop everybody else off? Did they come back out? Got a lot of unknowns here, but I did my social media scour. And let me
Okay.
explain to you what I found. So we've got L and T on the boat with Kendall and Nevaeh, like we've confirmed that. We also know at some point Katie was on the boat with them as well. T was the only one that seemed to be connected to Nolan on social media. Now remember how the person who released the Snapchat pictures of Katie said that they were not friends with her? Well, I found that T was actually connected to a lot of people social media wise, whether they were following her or she was following them. I was able to find Javon. I was able to find Ava D, the girl from the party. I was able to find the entire Hudson family, as well as Katie, Lainey, Trin, Ava, all of the other friend group, the core group that I talked about yesterday. And I found out that L was either following or was followed by Ava, Jax, and Bart. Now here's the real kicker. When I went to T's Book of Face page, I found out that she was FB friends with not only Warren's mom, but Bart's mom as well, and several other adults that are close friends with that mom group. And I also found out that Lainey and Nevaeh are both friends with the older McGrath brother, but it seems like he was in Texas at the time, so most likely he was not on the boat or around for this. However, he does have a younger brother who is friends with T on social media. And that makes me wonder if the younger McGrath brother might have been on that boat. Now remember, Lainey said that she was not on Horn Island. She was with a different group of friends on a different island altogether. But now I'm wondering if this boat, this group, might have been the other group that they got into the altercation with. Because remember, they specifically said that they knew the guy, like knew of him, but they weren't like friends with him. Because does nobody else think it's weird that whoever else they were fighting on the beach hasn't come forward? Especially if they were people that didn't really know these people? But could this boat have been the fourth boat that we've seen? Because if this is the same red shorts guy, then how did he get onto the other boat?
Mm,
Day one.
that's crazy. We're not gonna look into Flacco's videos just yet. We're gonna. Hey, let's see if he got any more Noah Wells. I don't know because I haven't been on here in a couple days. How much he's been doing on the Northern Wells case, but we can find out. Because, yeah, Northern Wells case just said Al Sharpton destroyed arrested. That's it.
Nolan Wall friends have finally made
A
good on their
warning.
promise. They're now
A warning is worse.
threatening Al Sharpton in this leaked document.
I hear that super
So they
sign in the
sent Al
background.
Sharpton this particular document, giving him an
Mm-hmm.
ultimatum that I believe almost certainly Al Sharpton is not going to cooperate with, and they're going to have to actually go through with this.
Al Sharp Tongue has barked himself up the wrong tree.
They're talking about Al Sharpton like Al Sharpton is this peon or something, man.
Yeah, like he
that they could
nobody.
bully.
There is a lawsuit and a pursuit of a lawsuit against him for defamation against Warren, Jax, and Morgan. And I don't want to hear none of y'all say that they just asking questions. No, they have put out false information with no evidence against these young boys. And let me tell you this, and I want everybody to be very clear about this. The days of hoodwinking, the days of bludgeoning white people, accusing them of things they didn't do, leveraging the power of the civil rights movement against innocent people, those days are over.
Let's get through this document. So obviously it's coming from Tyler Cox, and they're representing Warren, Jax, and Morgan, as you guys just heard. Now, the lawsuit starts off like super, now, again, not even a lawsuit, it's like a demand letter, it's a warning, but it starts off super petty, right? It starts off saying, hey, all right, this letter should come as no surprise to you since you recently welcomed a lawsuit against you, boasting at the National Association of Black Journalists Convention. Yo, here's the thing, bruh. These people, and this is how you know this is not done in good faith whatsoever, right? And they're doing themselves no favor. You start off this demand letter that's gonna be presented to the public, that's gonna be presented to the Black community with, oh yeah, this is come as no surprise to you because we heard you was popping it at the National Association for Black Journalists. Oh yeah, we heard you was popping it, so now we popping it too. It just seems so vindictive, so petty. Like this is not the best way to start off like this quote unquote lawsuit or demand letter. And these boys are looking more terrible as the days go by. So they continue. Okay, so here is the quote from Al Sharpton. But I will say this on stage. I want them to sue me first. I want to depose your son. If you sue, the plaintiffs are deposed. And let's go to civil court, any kind of court you want to go to, because you can't make this make sense. We're happy, again, the petty stuff. Oh, we are happy to grant your wish. Unless you comply with the demands set forth in his letter, we will immediately be filing suit against you. However, we're pleased that you too welcome deposition. But the problem here is, the question here is, what exactly are they suing Al Sharpton for? What are the defamatory statements they're claiming that Al Sharpton made? The defamation they're suing Al Sharpton for is absolutely laughable, and it just screams desperation. This just reeks desperation. So they're claiming that Al Sharpton was on TMZ, and he spoke on the events surrounding this Nolan Wells death and why he's involved in this case. And they go, Al Sharpton wrote, I was, first of all, stunned at the fact that this young man, is going out. He and 3 friends. He Black, they white. And, I'm reading this exactly how they quoted it, so you could truly see how they're reaching at straws, in this case have no legitimacy whatsoever. They go, a day later, his mother and them start searching for him. No one comes forward. And then they find out after 2 days that they claim his body was washed up and that they have given his cell phone and his keys to one of the 3 friends, saying he didn't want to go back from Horn Island with them. What about that is defamation? What about that is an accusation? He just listed the facts of the case that were already public. But here's the thing. He didn't name these kids by name. He says that like 3 friends. Bart could have been one of the friends. The other quote unquote white folk, bro, wasn't there like 30 white folks that came with them all on a boat? So Al Sharpton didn't even say their name, didn't even allude to which one of the 3 friends he's referring to. But he continued, okay, and he says, have they brought these 3 young men in for questioning under oath? Again, question mark. You would get, so they go, you would get left no doubt who you're referring to when you stated, how does anybody say that, oh, no race played a role unless you know the 3 guys and the 3 guys were forthcoming? Again, that's a question. Hey, how do you guys know they're telling the truth if you guys don't know these people? That's a question. They're setting themselves up to get just brutally destroyed, man. Because if you go to this quote unquote defamation suit and you move forward with it and you guys lose it, most reasonable people will see you lose the defamation case and say, yeah, Al Sharpton didn't defame y'all. But there's a portion of the internet that you guys are fighting against for some reason, right? If y'all lose this defamation case, it's gonna be confirmation for some people that they were involved in Nolan's death. Fair or unfair, that's what people are gonna say.
Facts.
Why put yourself in this position? This is not defamation at all.
No,
I'm not even an attorney, and this is not defamation. So they go, continuing your racist vitriol, you further identify your targets when you says you got to look at the possibility of racism at different levels. 1, were any of the 3 guys racist? You later asked, have they interrogated the 3 young men? Again, he asked, you got to look at racism at all levels. Were any of the 3 guys racist? Again, he's proposing a question. Yo, I don't know who was bankrolling this or who was funding this, because I don't know.
They got some money, I tell you that.
Warren, Jax, and Morgan, if they're the ones that are wasting their money on this, bro, oh my God, yo.
Yo, for real. And if they still get caught, it's gonna be a whole lot of
emotional damage.
Bruh, y'all wasting y'all money, bruh. This is a money grab. Bruh, this is not going anywhere, in my opinion.
At all.
So then they will also continue and they will say, you clearly intended that your audience would know exactly who you were talking about when Warren, Jackson, Morgan, your full defamatory statement set forth below contain lie after lie about each of the 3 young men. So here is what they're saying is the defamatory statement. They go, I was, first of all, stunned at the fact that this young man is going out. He and 3 friends, he black, they white. A day later, his mother and them start searching for him. No one comes forward. So they're saying no one comes forward is defamatory. And then they find out after 2 days that they claim his body was washed up and that they had given his cell phone and his keys to one of the 3 friends, saying he didn't want to go back from Horn Island with them. Well, first of all, it's very, very unlikely for most 18-year-olds to ever give up their phone. But if you're going to stay on an island and nobody's there other than people, tourists, or partiers, why would you want to give up your cell phone? Now they're saying this is the full defamation right here. Then when they track the cell phone down and find out which one of the young men had it and his keys, which they first said they didn't have, then he had to admit he did. All of his phone, text messages, everything on the phone had been erased. So what hit me strange, 1, he's missing without a cell phone. 2, you lie about whether or not you had the cell phone and the keys. And 3, everything's erased from the cell phone. That's too many unanswered questions for us not to say that something is amiss here. Here's the thing, and here's where, okay, this is not defamation. Nolan Wall's father told a story of when they pulled up. Again, when they pulled up, Jack says, I can't find the keys. We don't got the keys, according to Nolan Wall's father. And it was a girl who hopped on the phone and said, oh no, the keys is on top of somebody's Xbox. If it was Jack's, I don't know, but one of the friends said it. Al Sharpton is just repeating what he heard publicly. This don't arise to the level of defamation at all. Yo, you'll have to prove that this exact statement right here from Al Sharpton,
somebody wasted money,
caused pain and suffering. No, these statements were already out there. He repeated what the parents said.
It's America, though.
You can't sue Al Sharpton without, again,
I wouldn't doubt they get away
If a
with it.
Nolan Wall's father lied, which he has no reason to lie, I
Right.
don't think he's lying. But if y'all saying no, that's not true, that they didn't say they didn't have the keys, then that's for Nolan Wall's father, not for Al Sharpton. But even if Al Sharpton says, okay, Al Sharpton misinterpreted the phone thing, but he was right about the keys. Yo, yo, I don't think people understand the level of specifics and the criteria you have to reach for defamation. Defamation has to be intentional. Defamation has to be malicious. This just tells me no. Like Al Sharpton said phone instead of saying just keys. The keys were still missing. They said they didn't have the keys. Then they found the keys in the crib. How is that defamation?
Right. That's crazy.
I don't know what everybody's obsession is with like Nolan Wall's birthday celebration. Tatum did like a 30-minute video on how like Jamal Bryant and other people were speaking at the celebration they didn't like. But these people are obsessed with this birthday celebration because they also brought it up as well, okay? So during the birthday celebration, they're claiming, that Al Sharpton said these particular words right here that they claim was, I guess, defamatory towards Warren Jackson Morgan. Okay, so the statement was he had friends in a community in Ocean Springs, and as one would do with friends, holidays you spend together. On the 4th of July of this year, he and 3 young white male friends, people he was acquainted with, decided to go to Horn Island because that's where a lot of the festivities happened. Hours later, the 3 friends came back and he was not with them. And that is where the mystery happened. When his parents recognized he was not back at a certain time, they started calling around and they found out that he had not come back with 3 friends. And that's where it gets cloudy. What the friends knew, when they knew it, why they didn't hand over the cell phone over right away when it was clear he was not back with them, the keys, all that needs to be litigated. But he's not lying, right? Like, they had the phone. They had the phone, for a period of time. Nolan Wall's mama realized that Nolan Walls was missing around, like she said, around 8 p.m. Warren didn't call her until about 10-ish, I was told, right? Around like 10 p.m.-ish, right? Because she called Nolan's phone around 8 p.m. a couple of times. He didn't pick up. She ain't think nothing of it. Warren called her around 10-ish. Now, by 10, Warren had already discovered that he or they or whoever were in possession of Nolan's phone because Warren told the mama that they were in possession of Nolan's phone. So they continue and they claim that this statement is defamatory because, according to them, is contrary to multiple lies in a defamatory statement. They said the truth is Warren, Jax, and Morgan did not touch Nolan's cell phone or keys on July 4th. This is so sneaky. This is so sneaky, bruh. You know why this is so sneaky? Because Wyatt is who had Nolan's phone. But they all came back together. So they're just grouping everybody together. Yo, Wyatt had his phone. Warren alerted the mama, oh yeah, they got his phone. We got his phone, according to the mama. So it's so sneaky because Wyatt had the phone, but Wyatt was a part of the group. Which is why, again, it's not defamation because Al Sharpton never said the name. So you can't tell the court, hey, he was talking about Warren, Jackson, Morgan, and not Wyatt and Bart. Oh, he was talking about, no, when he says they had the phone, he was talking, no, how? He never said a name. He never said a name. He said Wyatt. No, he said the friends had the phone, right? The friends had the phone. But let's continue, man. Yo, these people, bro, these people are so slick, bro. If Wyatt had the phone or the keys and y'all all came back together, he's grouping the grouping. The group had the phone and the keys. So he continues and he says, Warren, Jackson, Morgan did not access Nolan's phone. They never said they did. Al Sharpton never said they did. Al Sharpton simply said, yo, things were deleted from my dad's phone. Who did it? He don't know. Warren, Jackson, or Morgan did not erase anything on Nolan's phone. Warren, Jackson, or Morgan did not tamper with anything on Nolan's phone. Warren, Jackson, or Morgan, like many other of his friends, did come forward, contacting not only Nolan's family, but also the Coast Guard, and even returned to Horns Island to search for Nolan. Warren, Jackson, and Morgan did not have any knowledge whatsoever the tragic death of Nolan Wells. Okay, right? Now let's continue. So they gave a factual background where they're claiming, yo, this is like the GPS data. They if them didn't do anything wrong. Here is like their particular evidence. They're claiming, yo, look at the pictures. This is them boarding the boat. But where where are the pictures of them docking on their way back? What where's the pictures of them hopping off the off the boat when they got back? Right? So they have evidence for everything, but they don't have evidence for that. Now, yeah, this particular thing we already saw, right? So right here they says while Warren, Jax, and Morgan were there, Nolan seemed in good spirits and enjoying Independence Day. Below are pictures of Nolan amidst a large group of young people at approximately 1:55 p.m. Showing Nolan at 1:55 p.m. does nothing for the theory of where was Nolan at 3 p.m., where was Nolan at 4 p.m., where was Nolan? Okay, and they show like more like GPS data. These threats are a big nothing burger. I think at this point they're panicking, they're grasping at straws. Al Sharpton is an attorney. I think Al Sharpton is an attorney. Like I'm not sure, but Al Sharpton has been around the legal system his entire life. If he's not an attorney, I think Al Sharpton is wise enough to know when it's defamation and when it's not. And he never said their names at all. And much of what he said was him proposing questions and not making statements. So I don't know where they go thinking that this is gonna scare Al Sharpton or scare anybody, but this is crazy, bro. Like, if this is what they got on Al Sharpton, hey man, good luck, okay? Y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, man? If you're still watching. Tatum just accused Nolan Wall parents of some really crazy stuff, things that nobody should ever utter out their mouth about grieving parents. But Tatum feels like he has the authority to do this. I can't even prepare you for the absolute nonsense you're about to hear from Tatum. So I'm going to give you guys a few quotes just so you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Here are a couple of quotes from the next 10 minutes you're about to hear. How come they get to stay home from work to grieve their son, but Ashley Cole, Warren's mama, can't stay home from work? How come y'all giving them money to stay home and grieve, but y'all not giving Warren money? I don't even think they want justice for their son. I think they want the money. This man has lost his mind, and at this point, I don't know how much lower Tatum can go. This is sick.
The truth.
Can you imagine to be insulted that you want answers and closure about your son?
I say it all the time. All we did was ask a question.
Yes.
We asked a question that any good,
Stay making that dumb
loving,
face.
caring parent or parents
Yeah.
would ask if something like this happened. I would hope, and I have said this every interview, press conference, I would hope that God forbid if you were in this situation, that you would ask the same question. You would want to know, because when you are left with your child is gone.
Yes.
We can't answer what happened, when did it happen. We can't answer any of these questions. It's hard to cycle through the stages of grief, and you get stuck.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's all we did was ask a question, and I have, really just tried to mentally, but you can't mentally prepare yourself
No.
for any of this, because at the end of the day, and I've said it before, we didn't ask for this.
Yeah, shock and awe.
We did not ask to lose our child. We have not asked for people. Well, let me say this. We have not begged, because that's another thing. We have not begged anyone to donate to the GoFundMe. What we have said is that if you can, great. Thank you. We appreciate it, because what people don't understand is situations like this, there's so much that comes with it. Elmore and I have not been to work since July, early July.
Yeah.
That first week, we've not been to work. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the profession that I have sometimes is emotionally heavy.
Yeah.
So now I have to kind of sit within myself and be like, okay, are we really ready for this? Are we ready to go back to that life?
Which, by the way, is completely normal. You probably can't tell by Tatum's face as they're talking, but parents take time off when they lose a kid. That's not new. Like that's not new at all. And especially for a case like this publicized with this much publicity, their jobs probably don't want them back at this time. It'll be too much of a distraction. With this case and the amount of publicity this case is currently receiving, they're out chasing justice for their son. They probably don't have time to go back to work. I relate to
For
Christine so
real.
much when she says, my job as a nurse is emotionally taxing. I don't know if I'm prepared for that right now after losing my son. And the reason why I relate to that, I lost my best friend back in October of last year. He was murdered. And his sister is a nurse. She couldn't go back to the hospital after his death. Like losing him in the hospital, she just couldn't go back to the hospital. It was traumatizing for her. It took extensive therapy for her to be able to go back to the hospital and resume her duties as a nurse. So I relate so much to what she's saying, and she's not lying. I've experienced it firsthand that she's telling the truth. It's hard to watch this interview and not feel this gut wrench in your stomach. It's hard to watch this interview and not feel absolute sadness and empathy for these people. But Tatum ain't us, bruh. Tatum have completely dehumanized these people. In his head, these people are monsters. And the commentary you're about to hear from Tatum absolutely reflects his real opinions of these people.
Now let's talk this through. As a woman whose son has died, I understand that you may not be able to go back to work. It's been over a month now. Are you saying to us that you're utilizing the GoFundMe money to maintain your lifestyle while you're not working? Is that what you're saying? Why is Mr. Elmore not at work? It's been over a month now. That's fine. You're grieving your family. I get it.
This is nothing short of harassment and weirdo behavior. You already led with the accusation, so you leading with the accusation already crosses off the that's fine, as if they need your permission to take off time to grieve their son. The father
They
not working
don't.
because the father is obviously going all around the country campaigning for justice for his son.
You deserve to grieve in the way in which you think is the honest way to do it. All right, let's move over to the other side of the family. Does Miss Ashley Cole get to take off work because her son is being accused of murder?
What?
What does that have to do with Nolan Wells and his family and people choosing to give
Did
them money because
she
they empathize with
retire
them
or
grieving their
step
son?
down?
To the point where 5 people have been arrested for trying to kill them or threaten to kill them. She goes to work every day. Does Warren Hudson, does Jax, does Morgan? Wait a minute. Now they're accusing that kid Bart. Do they get to go back to college or get to sit out of college because they're being accused of murdering their own friend until the investigation is over?
You don't want to know what we think. If it was up to us, they wouldn't be able to leave Ocean Springs until this investigation is over with. That little college football career is on hold until this investigation is over
Mm-hmm.
with. So certainly you don't want our answers.
Facts.
But I hope you're not comparing parents losing their son that they gave birth to homies losing their friend they left on an island who ended up dead on that same island they left him. I just don't understand where you're going here, Tatum.
They don't have this is what bothers me. They don't have the luxury of doing that. Tristan don't have the luxury of just saying his side of it, given what he believed happened, explaining that he was the person on the video arguing it wasn't Nolan. He don't get a chance to say, because of my friend died and I want to mourn, or my friend died and I'm being accused of killing him, I get to take time off. I don't get it. But what I do see is this. Let me predict something for you guys. This is what I believe. It could be not true, but based on everything, and I've been trying to be
This
sensitive to this
nigga's
family because they
yapping.
did lose their son. But it's getting harder and harder the more stuff they say. And
He's a
then
great deflector.
Christine
He all over the
put
place.
my name in her mouth. Christine said, I'm not even worthy of giving me airtime. Well, then it's fair game, right? It's fair for me to criticize you now because you just said something crazy, and I don't think that's reasonable. But this is my prediction. This is what happens in these cases. They have a case. They know it's no racial component. There's no evidence of race, but they know there can be some money made. Who do you go to when you want to make some money?
That's why this
You don't
right
go to
here.
your local guy. This didn't happen across the country. This happened in Mississippi.
That's why everybody you interview, you put this behind them, no matter where you go. He had this right here. That's his. All of this has been a money grab for him. You can't tell me it ain't all he getting. He still seems like all he want to do is know the whales, know the whales, know the whales.
You don't go to an attorney in Mississippi. You don't go to a representative there in your locale. You go to Benjamin Crump. Get a national figure involved. Immediately, you raise
So,
$700,000 on a GoFundMe.
Tatum is
so
truly a clown, bro. Tatum is the only person in the history of Earth who is criticizing and critiquing somebody for hiring the best possible attorney. Imagine if that's the standard. Hey, if you hire an attorney who's not in your small town, then you are guilty. Then you're suspicious. Hey, if you catch a case and you hire a power attorney from New York or somewhere, then you guilty because that's suspicious. That's sketchy. Mind you, Tatum don't apply that logic to Warren being represented by Donald Trump's attorney. Why didn't Warren hire somebody from the small town of Ocean Springs? Where's the critique? He got Donald Trump's attorney. Yeah, they went
right.
and got Benjamin Crump because Benjamin Crump is the best civil rights attorney.
Either one of you on why you want the DOJ to get involved.
Well, from the beginning, just premature statements before an investigation was made.
Yeah.
That, along with stuff that was told to us, which was out of character, but the premature statements and then just the way that people were moving, it didn't seem trustworthy. And my wife that day, she pulled me to the side and she said a prayer that whoever we need, whoever needs to come into our life to help us navigate this, to bring them forth. And he brought us Ben Crump and his team.
And let me say this, because I've seen this too. His team never reached out to us.
Attorney Crumps.
Attorney Crump's
Yeah.
team, where's the camera? Attorney Crump's team did not reach out to us.
Yes.
What it was is when we were at Lake Mars and he and I sat there and I said that prayer, and then we went to the coroner's office and the whole thing, and finally we made it back home. Things were already set in motion. My wonderful friend group, and they were like Johnny on the spot.
That's great.
That next morning, it was, hey, look, I have this, this, and this. Boom, boom, boom.
Is that a good enough explanation for you, Tatum? That, the local police came out and says there was no foul play. They thought that was suspicious because Nolan's body was found an hour ago and they were already saying there was no foul play before doing a full investigation. Is that enough for you? Hey, we weren't happy with the answers we were getting, so we brought in a civil rights attorney to advocate for us. Is that suspicious, Tatum? Is that suspicious? Now, it's one thing to say, hey, I don't like how they are operating or how they're doing things, which, by the way, is none of your business. But it's another level of evil when you go into depth and you accuse these people of not really wanting justice for their son, and they're only doing this for a paycheck.
What's the next play? The day that Nolan was put into the ground, the day of his funeral, there was paperwork filed to open an estate in his name. I was told, and I think common sense tells you, when they open an estate in his name, they're preparing to sue somebody for a wrongful death suit. Benjamin Crump has gotten people $700 million, $800 million, $500 million, $50 million, $30 million, $20 million, $10 million, $5 million, $2 million in wrongful death settlements in civil court. They've sued these police departments and gotten tons of money in wrongful death suit. Now, I think the play is that they will not go back to work because they're going to try to prepare to sue to get a wrongful death payout.
They got
And
700.
$700,000.
They got exactly. They got 700 Why would they go back there? They can start their own business, do whatever they want to do. Man,
Tatum just accused Nolan Well
oh,
parents
what
of
I
some
just
really
do?
crazy stuff, things that nobody should ever utter out their mouth about grieving parents. But Tatum feels like he has the authority to do this.
What did I just do? I don't know. Don't know what I did, y'all.
I can't even prepare you for the absolute nonsense you're about to hear from Tatum. So I'm going to give you guys a few quotes just so you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Just now is one thing to say, hey, I don't like how they are operating or how they're doing things, which by the way is none of your business. But it's another level of evil when you go into depth and you accuse these people of not really wanting justice for their son and they're
Opening the state in his name.
There we go. My bad,
I was
y'all.
told, and I think common sense tells you, when they open an estate in his name, they're preparing to sue somebody for a wrongful death suit. Benjamin Crump has gotten people $700 million, $800 million, $500 million, $50 million, $30 million, $20 million, $10 million, $5 million, $2 million in wrongful death settlements in civil court. They've sued these police departments and gotten tons of money in wrongful death suit. Now, I think the play is that they
Shit,
will not go back to
they
work
still wouldn't be wrong.
because they're going to try to prepare to sue
They still
to
don't know
get a
how their
wrongful
son
death
died.
payout. And $700,000 plus a multi-million-dollar wrongful death payout, why would you have to go back to work? You can invest that in some property, put that in the SP 500, put that in an index fund, and you can live off the interest.
Exactly.
Especially if you
So
get
why
a
you
$20 million,
why you
$30
critiquing
million,
them?
$50 million, $100 million wrongful death suit.
You already said what they said. They already got 709. That's theirs, bro. You just said it. They can invest in all kinds of stuff. Why would they go back to work? So why would you critique them if you would do the same thing? Goofy.
And to me, I think that's the play. I don't really know if justice is something that they want to get. I think they know what happened to Nolan.
That being Crump ain't gonna be no cheap lawyer. Ain't gonna be no cheap lawyer at all. That's the play. Nigga, she got to raise the money to pay them guys just to find out what happened. They got all the resources and the team behind it. But you mad because they getting close to finding out what's going on, or what it is. You over there blue loving and eating dinner with the folks that you in bed with. I ain't gonna say no names because all this is alleged. But Tatum is Tatum is exposed already. We know his ties and his connect.
And they know what didn't happen to Nolan. I think they already know. That's why
Look,
this is a PR tour and not
look.
necessarily a tour to bring awareness to Nolan Wells. This conversation should have just been about Nolan Wells, to be honest.
This is all projections, by the
To
way.
be
If you haven't known,
honest,
this is all a projection. Tatum is a grifter at heart. So in Tatum's mind, because all he thinks about is the new grift, he can't seem to fathom how grieving parents truly want justice for their son and they don't care about money. Because in his mind, if he lost a son, he would try to use that excuse to raise, I don't know, $10 million. So
right?
he's projecting what he's gonna do, how he's gonna grift on some innocent parents. We've lost all decency. Yo, the internet has really took away decency from this world. Truly. Truly. Yo, think about this shit for a second, bro. If I would have told you 10, 15 years ago, somebody would come on the internet and disparage and lie on grieving parents because they're speaking up for their son, you would say, huh? Like, what type of monster is that? But now it's a content creator that does like millions of views disparaging grieving parents, and he's being cheered on
Mm-hmm.
by a bunch of people. Y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, okay? If you're still watching.
He cheering on white folks and talking down on the grieving black folks. Go ahead, keep it real, Flacco. Like you said, let me know what you want to see in the comments. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when the next time we drop more videos like this. Until next, y'all, Z Tyson out.